Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Digital Hoofprint Podcast. I am your host, Abriana, and I just want to tell you a little bit about me and about what this podcast is going to do for you and your horse business. I am what they like to call a modern day Renaissance lady. I am an author, a designer, I'm a serial podcaster, and an entrepreneur, just to name a few. But I'm also a daughter and a mom to two dogs, two cats, and three horses. And I'm a creative spirit that is hell bent on transforming 100 equine businesses in 2021. But more on that later. This Digital Hoofprint podcast is an extension of my business, Black Unicorn Creative. Black Unicorn Creative is a creative solutions agency that services the equine industry. Our scope of work includes graphic design, web design, marketing, and business coaching. Let me just give you a little bit of backstory before we get into everything and just tell you how we got here in the first place. So, about me, I received my bachelor's in animal science in 2010 from North Carolina State University. I was on the pre-veterinary track, and so with that, I had to have experience hours, a minimum of 400 in supervised by a veterinarian or in an animal related industry just to be considered for vet school. So being the overachiever that I am, when I submitted my application, I clocked in about 1,200 hours of experience. Now, I got that experience several ways. I worked with multiple equine veterinarians. I started a equine public health program and provided opportunities for other students to get experience hours. I worked in animal breeding operations and volunteered in multiple capacities. So my breadth of experience in that regard is quite large. So you might be wondering, why aren't you a veterinarian? Well, I didn't get into vet school. And it only took one rejection. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get more experience because that must be what I am lacking in. And I started at a corporate animal hospital out of college. Fast forward 3 years, I was a technician and kind of worked my way up the ranks doing anesthesia, monitoring, surgery and all those things. And I said, hey, I want to get more experience on the business side of this industry because there's nowhere else for me to go. I was not a registered technician, so I couldn't, just go to an emergency hospital and get more experience there. But I ended up being promoted to the manager of the pet resort. Now, the pet resort was struggling, y'all. Let me tell you, it was struggling, okay? They were, hardly had any animals coming in the door, couldn't keep staff around, couldn't keep anyone busy long enough because there wasn't anything to do. So I took over the pet resort and flipped it upside down. And over the course of 3 years, grew it from nothing, really, to a bustling business. Our groomer stayed booked out about 2 to 3 weeks. We always had clients coming in the door, and it took a lot of trial and error, but I got some people in there that were really passionate about their jobs and created a really, really fun and enjoyable work environment. So through all that, I started Black Unicorn Creative as a side hustle. I started it in 2019 and I was doing custom apparel and custom, trinkets and gifts and things for anyone who is really interested. I realized that I did not want to do that forever, but I had this business. What was I going to do with it? Fast forward to 2020, when we have entered or found ourselves in a global pandemic. I really, really gained perspective in this pandemic and took a look around and said, okay, what is it that I'm passionate about? You know, we are in a time where everything is so in limbo. I realized for myself that I needed to do something that I was passionate about and not just stay where I'm comfortable. Because 2020, I don't know if you have felt it, but it is not the year to be comfortable. We have been stretched beyond our imagination and have had to make decisions that we did not fathom we would have to make. So I told myself, who am I passionate about? Why am I passionate about them? And what can I do to set myself up so that I can do work that I enjoy? Answers to those questions. I'm passionate about the horse industry. I've always been involved in the industry. I bought a weanling as a sophomore in college and spent the last 2 years of my undergrad raising him as a college student. That was wild. I don't recommend it, but I did it. Like, I'm committed to this thing 100%. And now I have 2 full-size horses and a mini. So, you know, we're in here, okay? But I had these revelations. I feel like the year 2020 is the year of the word pivot. And so I pivoted in my career, I pivoted in my business, and I pivoted in my expectations of what my life is supposed to look like. So I had a few revelations when looking at the industry that I was so passionate about. I looked around and I saw equine businesses struggling to show up online because, you know, everything is virtual now. You know, they're having to shut down. They've got angry clients because they can't come to the barn. They can't figure out how to get their products online because they were so used to having that face-to-face connection with their customers. They were just struggling with the transition to the online space. They were also confused on how to leverage an online community effectively. Like, you can really, really increase the profits in your business by building and nurturing and leveraging an online community that supports you and supports what your business stands for. So I saw a lot of people struggling to do that, or attempting to, but just falling on deaf ears. I also came across a ton of outdated websites and simply unappealing client experiences. Like, how do I work with you? Okay, I call you and then I have to wait for you to call me back, and then you send me a text message, and then when I go to book, I have to call you again, and then we go back and forth to see what booking is like. It just doesn't create the client experience that's enjoyable and that's someone will continue to choose over and over and over again. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the business of finding clients and keeping them and continuing to serve them in any capacity that I can that aligns with my zone of genius and my niche and my experience levels. So, said all that to say, I decided that I wanted to help horse industry businesses because, one, I'm passionate about the industry. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship and helping businesses grow. And I'm passionate about technology and getting the industry as a whole into the 21st century. So, on January 4th, 2021. Season 1 of the Digital Hoofprint Podcast will be live. And this is what you can expect. I'm honest. I'm a real person out here, I'm not some untouchable guru that's, handing out horseshoes like Oprah. I'm here. I'm a relatable person, and I am making my mark on this industry just like you are. With this podcast, you'll be able to identify the holes in your business, because a lot of times people don't realize they have a problem until you tell them. So I'll help you identify the holes that you may have in your business. I help you identify some strategies that you can use to start if you haven't already. If you have a budding idea that you're just like, I'm not sure what to do yet. If you are looking for a sign, honey, this is it. This is your sign. I'll help you come up with strategies to grow your business, because what are we without growth? Where do we go from here? And I'll help you come up with strategies to market your business. Growth is good. Being able to market yourself and finding your ideal client and getting your business out there, that is a talent, and that takes work and dedication. And we're going to talk about that. And I'll teach you how to implement these solutions and figure out in what ways you can maximize all of the strategies and the solutions that you learn. If you have any specific questions, definitely shoot them to me. You can send it to my Facebook or hit me up on Instagram, or click the link in the description and you could submit your questions there. I will do my best to cover them on the podcast if they come in time, or I will cover them on my YouTube channel. So that'll be linked in the description below as well. I am so looking forward to this process, this journey, this new podcast. It's a different format from my other podcasts, but I am 100% positive that it will help you get to the point that you are looking for in your business. And even if you don't know what you should be looking for, we're going to talk about it and we're going to figure it out. And you can ask me questions. You can send me questions, the entire time, but there will be multiple episodes live the beginning of January, and I'm excited, and I hope you are too. If you would, leave me a comment, leave me a note, shoot me a message or something, and tell me one thing that you are excited about in 2021 about your equine business, because I want people to not wait. It is not the time in January to figure out what your goals are for your business for the next year. We've got to go ahead and get this done. And I'm going to be releasing some new information in the next couple weeks about how you can go ahead and get your goals started and start working on them. Write them down and start working on them before we hit the new year. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to talking to you again in 2021. Bye.